Hello children, here I today with the students of class 10th, a lesson in literature and English from the prose, first flight, and the chapter is A Letter to God by G.L. Prentice. You know, a letter is a means of communication. A letter to God. Don't you find it quite strange? You write a letter either to your relatives, your parents, or to some authority. But sending a letter to God is quite strange. This story which I am going to discuss is a moving story. First of all, let's deal with the theme. It is about an innocent faith a person has on God. And this faith can accomplish impossible, which is highlighted in the story. Here even we come across two conflicting ideas. Apart from this, we have come across even two conflicts in this story. It is a conflict between human beings and nature, and secondly, a conflict between human beings. So as I told you earlier, the theme of the story is an innocent faith of a person on God which can accomplish impossible. So now let's talk about the main characters. The protagonist of the story is a simple peasant. Here we have limited characters. The main protagonist is Lencho. His small family, postmaster, and his colleagues. Who is the protagonist? Protagonist is the main character. And here we have the main character around whom the entire story revolves, that is Lencho. Now, let's talk about this gentleman named Joe. He is a peasant. He's quite knave. What do you mean knave? Knave means a person who lacks judgment, experience, and wisdom. So we see in the story, he is a peasant, a farmer, an innocent person, staying with his family in isolation, in the beauty of nature. He's satisfied with his life, and as we know that a peasant, a farmer, his main occupation is farming. He entirely depends on nature for rain. So this man has plowed his field and he, and this man then too looks at the sky expecting rain. He expects that he would have a good harvest and he would lead a good life. But what happens that day? It starts raining. He's completely full of joy. But the rain turns into a hailstorm. He was expecting a good rain. It starts pouring. There is a downpour. But the rain suddenly turns into a hailstorm. He can't believe it. As we know that, we cannot do anything against nature. Nature is very powerful. He is devastated because his entire crops are ruined. What to do? How can he sustain life for another year? The only hope he had was on God. As I told you, he is an innocent farmer, knave. He decides to write a letter to God. What a faith he had. He writes a letter asking God to lend him 100 pesos. He even goes to an extent of telling God that he will be returning the money when the better days arrive. Next day, he goes to the post office to post the letter. While he posts the letter, it is noticed by the postman there, who goes and informs the postmaster about the strange nature of a person posting a letter to God. No one would believe. Then how can a person write a letter to God when there is no address? Anyway, here appears the postmaster. He is moved by this person's innocence. So he decides that Lencho's, this innocent farmer's faith in God should remain intact. So he asks his colleagues to just lend him money so that they can help this man in distress. Unfortunately, they were unable to collect 100 pesos. They were just able to collect 70 pesos. Next day, early in the morning, with extreme expectations and faith on God, Lencho again arrives at the post office. He's handed over the money. When he looks at the money and discovers that the amount which he had asked from God, that is 100 pesos, were not there. There were only 70 pesos. He thinks he is deceived. He has been cheated by the post office. Here we see the nature of human beings. A doubt on other persons. So he again decides to write a letter to God asking for the rest of the money. So my dear students, it's a very simple story. It tells us about the faith a person has on God. And as I have told you earlier, two conflicts are there. Conflict between human being and nature. As I told you, in the conflict between human being and nature, we see that how the crops are destroyed and a person is completely ruined. Then even we see a conflict between human beings and other human beings themselves. How a person does not believe. Though this man was moved by the plight of this innocent farmer, he goes to an extent of helping him. But this man does not understand. So this is the story, a letter to God. Thank you. Please do enjoy this.